This is a view of the LCD screen, and I apologize, it's like very Inception-y. It's a picture of another camera's picture. The camera I'm shooting with is white balanced, and I don't know if it's kind of correcting the uncorrected screen that you're seeing on the Panasonic, but it doesn't look like a true representation through my DSLR. So I'm going to see if I can just kind of go through some menu functions with you. Remember, the menu button is down on the bottom of the Panasonic, so I'm just going to push that, and you'll see a menu comes up as close as I can here. All right, so for the camera setup, we just touch the touch screen, and the first thing you're going to see is customized scene, customized scene. All right, I'm going to start the record on the Panasonic and try and coordinate these when I is it recording? I can't tell. All right, now it's recording. Let's try that one more time. So I'm going to hit that menu button again. This is kind of a shortcut type of deal. Is it not going to show me? Ugh. Okay. We're going to stop recording and go to the menu button. So we learned something there, right? When it's recording, you can't access the menu. Camera setup. All right, so here's customized scene. I have it on scene 6. What are these things? These are little presets that are handy to know when you're getting to know your camera. It's not necessarily auto. They can help you just quickly find some settings based on your lighting conditions. So scene 1, if we hit scene 1 and exit and record, scene 1 is appropriate for standard recording. But you know what? It looks like crap because we really need to white balance first. So let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna go back a step and we'll hit white balance. Okay, on your screen that you're able to see, you're gonna notice that the little letters WB are showing up on the touch screen. All right, and over here, I hope you can see that there's ACH, which means like an A channel. That is one of the channels, that's one of the settings that you can custom white balance, and let's go ahead and do that. So this, right now, the scene looks very brown, kind of weirdly orangey brown. I'm going to take my white piece of paper, put it vertically in front of the camera so that it fills up the entire screen, and then I go down to my little scroll wheel and I just hold it in. There you go, and it turns black for a second, and then it says white balance set, okay. And then when I take this away, you should see a tremendous difference. I'm taking some footage right now, a tremendous difference in the color of just the overall color of the items in the scene. Okay, so that's custom white balancing. Put the camera where with the lighting that you're going to use. Put it on ACH or BCH would be the settings, and hold up a white piece of paper, or you could also use an 18% gray card if you have one, same basic idea. And then push in on the scroll wheel and hold, and it will turn momentarily a black screen and then come back and say white balance, okay. So if we want to see what some of the other white balances, just presets look like, we're going to scroll with our little wheel, and here's BCH. That, I don't know if that's left over from another setting, but it looks really blue. And so we would reset that one. We're just using it for comparison's sake right now. We're not going to reset it. And then P3200K. So that's 3200 Kelvin. It's a very cool looking setting, not in the sense it looks good. It looks, the light looks too blue. All right, and it's a preset 3200, probably meant for filming in warm lighting conditions like incandescent or something like that. And then if I scroll one more time, then it gives me the P5600K, which is a much warmer setting. That could be for daylight, or I think 5000 is neutral Kelvin. And then above that, it just keeps getting more brown and yellow and warmer looking. Below that, it keeps getting greener and bluer and cooler looking. So, and very variable or variation, that's just another customizable. Actually, this one, you can kind of eyeball it. So if I push my, let's see, if I push the scroll wheel in, this should work. Yeah, so if I push in that scroll wheel one more time, right now I'm seeing the actual Kelvin, and I can adjust it manually. So it started at 3900, and I'm just going to kind of go up 4000, 4100, 4200, something like that. So if you trust yourself to eyeball it without using a white card or a gray card, you can set the white balance like that. And once you have it set where you like it, you just push in again, and that's going to set it. And I think it keeps the white balance settings until you change them. Like you turn the camera off and turn it back on, those white balance settings aren't going to be saved. All right, so that's white balance settings. Okay, let's go back to the custom users. When I go back to my menu, and we have to turn off the recording. And then I go to camera setup. I just want to show you something because I think it's kind of handy. Camera setup. Customize scene. Scene 1. Scene 1 looks a lot better since we white balance. So we're going to open up scene 1 by touching it and then exit. So that's going to set the camera to record the settings, the automatic settings from scene 1. Scene 1, the settings are appropriate for standard recording. So it's kind of like the catch-all of, it's not too light, it's not too dark. So that would be good for just kind of normal lighting conditions. If we go to scene 2, it looks pretty much the same. It's a little brighter. Scene 2 is settings appropriate for recording, considering the characteristic of fluorescent lamps indoors, etc. I feel like you really see that orange pop of the little plant that we have there. To me, I can tell, that's where I can really tell the difference. Let's try scene 3. Here we are looking at scene 3. Again, I don't think it looks very different. Setting appropriate for recording with modulation in resolution, color shade, and contrast. That's something you're going to need to research with the manual. It sounds to me like it's more customizable settings. Setting appropriate for recording with a wider gradation in dark area, dusk, etc. So that is going to give you a little bit more dynamic range. Oops. All right, we're on scene 5 now. And scene 5, setting appropriate for recording as a cinema with high contrast. I kind of like this one. Again, none of these are wildly different right now, but just so you know that they exist. scene 6. Setting appropriate for recording as cinema with high dynamic range. It looks a little flatter, doesn't it? So again, those are not exactly super beginner settings, but some of you might love to geek out and read every single word in your manual. And honestly, that's what you should do if you own the camera, because it's a tool that you need to learn, to use, and they're all different. You need to know your own camera, but if you just want to have like one certain setting that you find that you like the look of it, then I wanted you to be aware of those.